Hey guys, Adam from Equipped Indoors. So here we've got a top 10 survival knives. I get asked questions all the time. We did a video a while back, maybe over a year ago, what's the best survival knife. But I wanted to give you guys specific knives that I love, the reasons I love them, and see if this information helps you guys pick your choice and you're picking out your survival knife. Now I will say this, there is a difference between a bushcrafting knife or a wilderness living skills type knife than a survive knife. And a survival knife in general is something that you're in a situation you don't want to be in. You want a rugged, hard use piece of equipment. And there's a lot of debate that goes on in the community here about what the best knife is, whether it is a large chopper or something as inexpensive and disposable as something like this Mora. And this Mora, as you see, is on the table because I think it's a great little knife. So to start off in this conversation, guys, keep that in mind. We want to cover an assortment of different types of blade, different costs, different materials that are suited for what you're going to be at, what you're going to be doing with them, and where you're going to be at. Because if you're, living on a desert island, you probably don't want something that's high carbon steel. You probably want something a little bit more stainless because that's going to be the most likely situation that you're in. But I have right here is 10 great knives. There's actually 11 knives on the table because one of the knives here has been changed a little bit, and I wanted to go over that. But I still love that knife. But phenomenal pieces of equipment that I've tested for a number of years now for each of these knives. I think I've had every knife on here for almost a year or have a version of that knife for over a year, and have really come to love the qualities of these blades and kind of some of the legacies that go along with some of these knives are just phenomenal. And I don't even know where to start. Let's start with kind of one of my favorite knives of all time that you guys have heard me talk about a lot, and I did not talk about in the last video, and that's the first one here. This is my Fallkniven Idun. This is a VG10 laminated steel, stack leather handle. This knife is one of the best knives I've ever owned. Just the quality, the aesthetics, the design, the function of this blade, it is just phenomenal. Everybody that I've met in the knife industry, or if I'm out in the field doing whatever, and they're like, hey man, what knife are you carrying? I've never heard any derogatory terms or things said about Falkniven. Convex edge, VG10 is a phenomenal steel. It's a proprietary steel out of Japan. Of course, these are sent back to Sweden when they're brought to the States. And that lies one of the problems with this knife, because these can go anywhere from $199 to $350 depending on the rates and how difficult they are to get. But very well engineered piece of equipment. A stacked leather handle is going to take a little bit more maintenance than some of the other knives on here, some of the micarta and some of the rubberized stuff. So you do have to take care of this. This isn't something that you're going to throw in your boat and leave it in there. I mean, the VG10 is a stainless, but you still got to take care, and I got to oil and wax up this leather pretty frequently, but it is a phenomenal knife, very comfortable and very, very sharp. As you guys know, I do prefer a convex edge, but not to say that there's not some really great edges out there without a convex. I just like, for bushcrafting type tasks, I like the decreased drag you get when using a convex knife. So just a great knife. It's not too big, not too small, fits very well. You can manage it phenomenally. Just an awesome, awesome knife. But a lot of guys out there are not going to be able to afford, nor do they want to take a $300 knife out into the field. So that's going to upset a lot of folks out there in the knife purchasing world. Let's come to our next buddy over here. This comes from our good friends over at Blindhorse. This is the Woodsman Pro. Now this was one of their specials when it first came out, and this is actually became one of their best-selling knives, I believe. And awesome, hunting style blade, great for bushcraft as well. As you can see, we almost have kind of a broomstick style handle that's tapered down here. Great edge on here for throwing a spark. As you guys can see, this has been very, very loved. Saber grind with a nice convex edge. This knife is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite designs. A1 tool steel is a high carbon, beautiful, very elegant. You guys can see the nice looking pins, and very simple. Blindhorse is a phenomenal knife company. Those guys are just a family business. They make awesome products, and they make a variety of different style blades, and they're always coming out with new stuff. So if you're a fan of Blindhorse products, just keep an eye on them, because they're always coming out with monthly specials with new releases, and if those do very well, they bring those into production, and they just have a long history of making some quality blades. I've known those guys for a number of years. I think I met Dan and LT probably over 10, 12 years ago. For a price of $160, very economical, comes from a great company, and there's just tons of things I like about this knife. The only real complaint that I've had about this knife is I wish this tapering wasn't as dramatic. But if you're a hunter, it's perfect for that. And a lot of my hunting buddies who have this knife love it, and they sing praises of it. The next one on the list we're going to jump into is a huge jump into value because the quality of the steel is phenomenal. I mean, you're talking about A1 here for 160. We're moving to CPM 3V, which is a phenomenal steel, phenomenal machining grade alloy, and I got to say it's a $30 bump up in price and comes with a sheath and everything. So and that is the GSO 4.1. Now this is the newer version of the knife, the one that I have and I've been using now as pretty much my go-to knife. I've actually put all my other knives to the side. I've been using this GSO, this EDC4 is the original name for it. And there's some very subtle changes, guys. We have a video talking to the designer, Guy Seifert, about this, so check that video out if you're interested. I'll leave a link down below. So pretty much the same. You guys can see a couple little aesthetic changes, but the function and the way this knife feels is exactly the same. It's just phenomenal. The CPM 3V, this knife right here, I've used, I don't even know how many, exclusively for only how many outings, and it is still razor sharp. It has a phenomenal edge holding capability. It's a strong steel, very durable. You know, twice as durable as something like your O1 or A2. So durable, in fact, there's a video of Guy, the owner. He has also done some rock climbing. You know, hammering this bad boy into a tree and then rappelling off it with his rope hooked into this, and trusting his knife that much goes to say something, guys. Because you know what? I love testing my blades, but there's no way in hell you're going to see me jumping off the side of a freaking mountain with my with my rope hooked into a knife and into a tree. But he did it, and there's a lot of little things that he does. He's got some different scale options. He's working with some different sheath options, things like the divot. As you guys can see, this thing has been used and loved. I can't tell you how many shows, how many bow drill fires I've done at expos and stuff like that, or classes. Phenomenal knife. And it just fits all the applications that I want it to be. And this is an LMAX version. He's also does some CPM 3V. Actually, I think this is a CPM 3V version. This is an LMAX version. I've used both, and he's getting some other stainless steels coming out here in a little bit. But phenomenal knife. And of course, this is the new version, the GSO 4. And I think for $199, I think it's a steal. I think he should be selling these knives for $250 easily. This easily compares to the quality of something like the Falkniven. You're not going to have the leather, the stack leather handles, but it's just a phenomenal knife, and I can't express how much I enjoy using that blade. And now let's go to an old classic, and I will tell you guys right now, I do not care what anybody says if they're talking about survival knives and do not have the guts or the intelligence to put a simple Mora Classic on that list, then they're fooling themselves. Because this knife right here is one of the most effective and efficient tools out there for the price. It is an awesome blade. As you can see, this one's been customized a little bit and it's been loved a lot. This is actually Robert Oliver's personal Mora Classic. And yeah, you know, you're not going to be batoning redwood with this. You're going to be using this for bushcrafting type tasks. And if you have the proper skill set and you know what you're doing and know how to use your tool out there, even in a survival situation, this knife is freaking amazing. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to, you know, baton this into a tree and rappel off a freaking mountain with it. No way. But this is a functional, highly capable piece of equipment. And if you break it or you lose it, you go drop another $10, you know, and you're good to go. Throw 2 or 3 of these in your bag. They are awesome tools. And for those parents out there who are looking to start their children into you know, training in the bushcraft or survival techniques and all that other stuff, it's an awesome way to go. It's an awesome way to start. You know, they have ones with a guard as well if you're worried about it not having a guard. But this is a phenomenal knife. And yes, this may not fit into the quote-unquote survival knife category that we talked about before, but if you have the skill set and you have the knowledge and know-how, I know many a survivalist who that's all they need. All they have is a little Mora, and they do a phenomenal job. So let's jump back to a couple old classics from our buddies at K-Bar. Talk about the BK2 enough, so let's just talk about the classic K-Bar. Now, of course, this isn't a classic K-Bar, this is a Gen 2 K-Bar. But for the price, guys, I have a lot of requests to do videos on this knife, and this knife is a track record that's proven. It has been in service for, I don't even know how many years, over almost 100, is it almost 120 years? I don't even know. It's 115 years. 115 years K-Bars have been used. They've been issued to our military, and it is a phenomenal blade. You guys can see I've really put a convex on this knife, and this knife's been loved. You can see that it's been out there in the field and been used a lot, and it works. It's proven, it's economical, and I've seen guys do some awesome stuff with their K-bars. Now, this is a combat knife. This is a combat bowie, but it doesn't mean it's not going to serve your purpose in reference to a survival knife. Economical, durable, has all the attributes that we want to have in there, and it's not going to break the bank. This is a great knife if you're getting into it and you want something full size with some meat and you don't want to drop a couple $100. Grab a K-bar. They're phenomenal knives. Moving down is a knife designed by a good friend of mine, Paul Scheider from Hedgehog Love the Works. This is the Ontario Blackbird SK5. Very simple. Like I've referred to this as a beefy bushcraft knife. It's like this on steroids. Full flat grind. It's got great cutting geometry. I love the spear point. The handle is very, very comfortable. It serves that purpose of the guys that want to go out there and practice their wilderness living skills or bushcraft skills. Want something a little bit heftier. Great convex edge on this, and I just haven't had any complaints about this. I bought this with a Hedgehog of the Work sheath. Phenomenal product, and I hope to see some future designs from Paul here in the near future. He's a great guy, and he's one of these guys that gets out in the field and uses his tools. It's not just some guy sitting in there drawing on paper about what he thinks would be a great knife, coming up with all these crazy, things flaring out and uncomfortable handles and all this other stuff. It just works, and it's beautiful. It's everything that you need in a beefy bushcrafter. Love it. Classic. I had to pull the Cold Steel SRK in here. This, for a time, was what I thought was the perfect survival knife, and I still think this is a phenomenal knife. This is a carbon V version of the SRK. Not making this as much anymore, or they're making this in AUS 8 and Samurai 3, so we don't have the carbon V anymore, the carbon 5. The only real complaint I have with these is since production has moved to China and not America, the rubber grips. Now this knife is probably, a good, I don't even know, 15 years old. And the rubber on this feels just like it just came out of the box. I've had some of the Chinese-made versions, which, it's not a huge complaint, but the rubber just feels like it's less quality. I've talked about this before. It just feels like, after you're done, you have like a residue left over on your hands. SRK, this is a survival rescue knife. I mean, it's there. Very simple, great rubberized grip. A little bit of a guard here. The blade, you can easily choke up on it. It's pretty meaty. It's about 5/30 seconds. So it's not a huge 1/4 inch piece of steel. The blade geometry is good. Nice little clip point, little swedge there, and simple lanyard hole. It did what it needed to do. There was no big frills about it. As you guys can see, I threw on there a wicked convex. This is just a great knife, and it's been loved and eaten up a lot. So great blade. All right. So next, of course, is our old classic and old faithful Becker BK2. And for a quote-unquote survival knife, if you got medium-sized and big hands and you want a heavy piece of steel that you're probably not going to break, this will be one for it. I mean, you can get these on eBay for about $62 or Amazon for $62, so the value's there. Of course, I got my Carta scales in here, not the Grivory scales. The only big issue with these is a lot of the sheaths have some issues. Now, they're just coming out with a new sheath version, so they call it the Becker 222 or 2.2 or whatever you want to call it. Same knife, they just have a sheath that mimics the new tweeners or smaller Becker series. The one thing that they've changed in this knife recently is they got rid of this coating and went to that really tacky kind of coating, grippy, and they're no longer roller stamping them, they're laser engraving them, and I just don't like the new coating. I like the classic coating. And then as well, as you guys can see, I have a different pommel on mine because mine's an older model. But it's a great knife. Threw a convex edge on this one, razor, hair popping sharp. This knife, as you guys can see, has got a lot of love. It's done a lot of things. It's a beefy bushcrafter on steroids. It's just all that in reference to its stoutness. Now, believe it or not, I have gotten one guy recently. He said he broke his Becker batoning, and he broke it right here. And he had nice scales on it, and the blade had been redone, so I can tell that he put some love and time into it. And he said he used it along, and he wasn't even really that mad at it. He said he used it so much, and I guess nice tools eventually break. He called up K-bar, of course, if he sends it in, they'll replace it, no issue. But that is the first Becker BK2 I've ever heard about breakage. And let me tell you, I can't even tell you how many students I've handed this knife to and say, hey, go, do whatever, go destroy this thing and use it. And they've done everything from baton chopping large tree to splitting wood to carving trap triggers and stuff like that. It's a great tool, and economically, 62 bucks, you really can't go wrong. Now, the big issue with this is it's a heavy knife. I mean, this thing weighs a pound. And if you're not a large person, don't have large hands, you might have a little bit of issues maneuvering this bad boy. But if you ever need to field dress a Buick, go to the Becker BK2. But if you want to stay in that same vein, I've got two more knives from Survive Knives. Now this is the GSO 5.1. I've been doing a test on this, and Guy kind of gets a short end of the stick with this because I've known him for a while. And so I'm like, hey, I'll get your review done when I get it done. And I've had this bad boy at many camps in my vehicle. I've been using this for our little outings, and it has held up amazingly. We talked a while back, and we're going to do it here in a little bit, is go out and do some stupid destructive tests with these. I mean, everything from hammering this thing into a tree and doing pull-ups on it and seeing how much we can, cause some stress to it. But this CPM 3V, the edge retention on it, it's just amazing. It's a handsome piece, very similar to the Becker, as you guys can see in the shape. The handle's a little bit more forgiving for people who don't have large hands that need the Becker. But guys with large hands, everybody I've handed this to has really liked it. Now he's doing this is the 5.1, he's doing a 5.0 version without the finger choil. They're pre-orders right now. I actually am going to get one of those. I'm not big on a finger choil. A knife this size, it can benefit from a finger choil if you want to do some fine cutting in me, but it's not that heavy. I don't think it needs the bounce of the finger choil. So some people might like it. I think I'm good enough that I wouldn't really perceive the need for it as much as somebody with who's smaller frame than I am, or smaller hands. But phenomenal knife, and it's not too thick, not too heavy. It's stout though. The blade geometry is phenomenal. The handle design is phenomenal. Now this is a little bit of older version that I've been testing for a while. He is moving to the hidden lanyard hole like we have right here with the GSO 4.1. So I think the pre-orders for these and everything, these things sold out in no time. So I know he's got some pre-orders for a new batch of these, are the ones without the lanyard hole. But it's a phenomenal knife. So if you're looking for something a little bit beefier than a 4-inch blade, now this, military applications and such, and so you want more of a survival knife and less of a bushcraft / survival knife, this might be your ticket. Now, I only have one big knife on the table, and as you guys know, I've kind of gotten outside of my big knife craze here in the last few years, and I've gone to gravitating to axes. Even my small wildlife hatchets, I just think there's so much utility of those things out in the field. But I'll tell you guys right now, I got right here one of the GSO 10s, which isn't even in production right now. He'll be bringing it back here in a second. This is another Survive Knives knife, and I know I'm giving him he's getting a lot of credit here on the table, but he's designing some awesome stuff and at an awesome value. I think when this knife came out, I think he was selling it for like 200 bucks, or maybe like 225. I don't even know the pre-orders. It was ridiculous. I mean, this knife could easily go for $400. I mean, I would compare this to something of blade steel in quality of something like a Bussy that you can easily get $400 or $500 out of this knife. I mean, the design is phenomenal. It's just an awesome blade. And until you put this thing in your hand and actually grab it and start swinging this around, you just really can't appreciate the effectiveness and the efficiency of this as a large tool. And I can't wait to get this into Madison's hands because he is a big knife. He's more of a big knife guy than I'll ever be. And I guarantee you that when you put this freaking Gladius in his hands, that Condor blade that he's got right now is probably going to get some dust on it because this thing is just awesome. And so I don't know what the price point on these is now and when he's going to bring these back. I think maybe in May. So check out his website, guys. Please don't email me. I don't know. But phenomenal blade. And for those guys who like their big knives, I had to throw a big knife on here. This thing would definitely take place of like the RTAC for me or the Jungleus. The CPM 3V is just going to, there's no way that the 1095 is going to be able to stand up to this, guys. There's just no way. I mean, it's apples and oranges, and so you can get far superior toughness out of a steel. So check that out at the GSO 10. And I'll say right now, the one that I'm kind of using the most here would be the 4.1 or the EDC4. I'm probably going to get a 4.1 when he's got some extra come in. I know he's got a lot of pre-orders and a lot of orders, so I'm at the back of the list for that. I didn't jump on the pre-order bandwagon and grab one, which I should have done, but I felt that, hey, I already got an EDC4, but now that I see it, I kind of like, I need to upgrade. But this knife is just everything that I want and need, and it's kind of become my favorite knife. I gotta say, guys, something like this will suit all your bushcrafting, outdoor, adventuring, survival purposes if your skill set is right. And it is a phenomenal, phenomenal tool. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm sure there's some knives on here that I've used in the past that should have made this, but these are just kind of the ones that I had right here. There's some very high-end custom knives that I have in my collection that would also, I would consider, you know, some of the better knives, some of my Andy Roy stuff. But that stuff is a little bit too, you know, delicate pieces, which I get out and use. Don't get me wrong. You know, my Fiddleback Forge knife I use as well, but that's not something that I want to, you know, take out in the field or throw my bob or bug out bag because, you know, I don't want to lose that knife. But these knives right here, the function, the capabilities, and the materials are all, we have a plethora of different prices and different qualities. Let me know what you guys think. If there's something that you think I missed or something that should go in the top 20 survival knives, let me know. And of course, this is for 2013. I can tell you right now, a year from now, there might be some variety of changes here. There might be an older knife that was in this list that might come back. You never know what I'm in the mood for. But for right now, these are some great blades, some great function. So check them out, guys. All right, guys, Adam from Equipped Indoor. If you have any questions or comments, please email me at adam@equippedindoor.com. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared. Thanks.